Hey, we're back. Welcome back to track number 2 at the 2017 Junior Roller Derby Championships. I'm Scott Chick, and I'm joined by Bella DeBrawl of the Seattle Derby Brats.
Hey.
How are you doing, Bella?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. So we are here for game number 10 with the Darlings of Destruction versus Crooked River. Winner of this game moves into our 5th place game tomorrow at 2 p.m. Bella, why don't you read a team roster? Pick a team, any team.
All right. Let's do the Darlings of Destruction in black. They're ranked number 6 in this tournament and number 7 in the female division of the JRDA. So 101, we have Devil Diva. 12, we have McKenna Visca. 187, we have Sugar Baby. 2 is Ellen Degenerate. 20 is Pain Drop. 22 is Hot Sauce. 227, Wiki Bleedia. 23, Gabby St. Andre. 25, Lizzie B. Jammin. 28, Vanessa. 31, Pound Cake. 44, Tiki Torture. 88, Exorcister. And 99, Ripper and Half.
And their opponents in blue today, the Crooked River Roller Girls varsity team, currently ranked number 10. They come in as the 7th seed. Number 10, Flying Fish. 1,000 is Rainstorm. 110, Little Miss Perfect. 16 is Walking Dead Bear. 22, Kryptonic K. 2674, Starry Skies. 333, Zilla. 42, Adrenaline Rush. 47, Sophia Scorin. 75 is Slugbug. 777, Devious. 78, Nat. 88, Megan U. Fall. And 911, Jolly Crusher. So it looks like, coach and captain's meeting is done, so we might start the game fairly soon. How has your tournament experience been so far?
My tournament's been amazing. We've won the 2 games we've played, and tomorrow at, I think it is 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
We are battling either Angel City or the Santa Cruz Derby Groms for first place.
And you've played both of those teams already this year.
Yes, we have. We played them both at Wild West. We beat Angel City and had a very close game with the Santa Cruz Derby Groms, eventually losing by 4 points.
So I'm assuming everyone's looking forward to a Groms rematch, perhaps?
We want revenge.
Or would you prefer to face Angel City? Or do you just want an awesome game in the final semifinal tonight?
I just want an awesome game. I like awesome games.
Awesome games are good. That semifinal at 8 o'clock tonight, right here on this very YouTube channel. Thanks to our, not YouTube channel, WFTDA.TV channel. I don't know what I'm doing. Double H is going to fire me immediately, I'm sure.
Oh, don't talk like that.
Okay, I won't. Thank you. Little factoid, I should hold this up, though, so people can see it, but it won't matter. There is an international junior roller derby tournament going on and roller disco, sorry, forgot that part, in Copenhagen in August. There will be 145 junior skaters aged 10 to 18, 9 different countries from the U.S., Belgium, France, Sweden, England, Scotland, Germany, Holland, and Denmark. This will be streamed, I'm told, online, so head to facebook.com/Cat Junior Roller Derby, C-A-T Junior Roller Derby, or you can go to catrollerderby.com for more information. You're not traveling to Europe for this, I'm assuming.
I am not.
Since your league's on break during August, and hopefully you can all relax and do something else. Focus on getting back to school, maybe, or ignore the getting back to school part.
Don't remind me.
All right, I won't.
Senior year.
So for the Darlings of Destruction, we are starting off with Vanessa Bonet jamming against Devious from Crooked River. Steal my pen back, thank you.
Hey. All right, we got the 5-second call. And they're off.
They are. Both jammers sliding to the front. Devious against the Darlings of Destruction defense at the back of the pack. Bonet running to the front. And Bonet throwing shoulders left and right, and Vanessa finally clear lead jammer Darlings of Destruction.
Looks like Crooked River is going in for quick offense before Vanessa comes back in for her scoring pass.
And Bonet able to swing through quickly, grabbing the 5 points as Devious finally works past the pack of the Darlings of Destruction.
Some quick jammer offense. And she's calling it off to end the jam with a 5-0 run.
And 3 extra coming in at the end.
3 extra, which makes it 8-0.
It does. The announcer math. So you mainly jam.
Yes, I'm mainly a jammer.
What if you've played against different styles of defense? Which do you prefer to play against the most? The crazy mixed up or the really focused pack defense like the Galaxy girls play?
For my personal preference, I like crazy mixed up packs because it gives me a lot of space to gain speed and juke around, which is the way I like to jam.
Makes sense to me. Darlings of Destruction's Gabby St. Andre is your lead jammer.
Oh, and Rainstorm just made it out of the pack.
Crooked River able to pick up 1 point.
No.
Nope, let's make that 0. I thought I saw a 1 on the scoreboard earlier, but clearly I was mistaken.
Stuff happens.
Jam called off with 3 for the Darlings of Destruction and 11-0 run.
Looks like we have Bonnet back out on the jam line for jam number 3 up against, that looks like
That's
captain,
yeah.
Nat, number 78.
In our sport, especially with the juniors.
5-second call. Penalty box, I believe, empty, although coach is standing in the way. They should really understand that they're blocking my view.
Oh, and that is a cut call on Nat. So that's going to be a power jam for Vanessa and the Darlings of Destruction.
Bonnet out the front, lead jammer for the Darlings of Destruction, 3 straight jams. And Bonnet trying the outside lane, tripped up, dives through the middle. Whistle blown, sending one of the Crooked River blockers to the penalty box. And Bonnet waved back on.
A little confusion between the jammer and the ref.
Not clear on who the whistle was on, but hey, you're back in and you get 5 points and 5 more on that swift run through the inside edge. Nat now standing in the penalty box. As Bonnet rolling in on a 3rd scoring pass, wide open lane on the outside, grabs 5.
Here we have Crooked River doing a quick little bit of offense to try to get their jammer out.
But Nat caught as Darlings of Destruction roll forward, finally clears the pack. And Bonnet calls off the jam. 4 on the final run, a 19-0 jam, 30-0.
It's quite the jam.
That was quite the jam.
Power jams can be magical.
That they can.
Looks like we have Devious back on the line up against, is that number 44 maybe? Yes, Tiki Torture.
Devious cutting around to the outside, moves back to the inside rather, moves back to the out, now pushing forward. Tiki Torture tied up with the braced 4 at the back. And Devious through, first lead jammer of the game for Crooked River.
Nice little hop for Tiki Torture over the apex to get her out on her initial.
Crooked River again setting up at the back. Devious waving them forward for some offense. Shoves her blocker into the back of an opponent and works out.
You can
Grabs
do whatever
4.
you want to your own blockers.
That is true. As we saw in the last game with Galaxy Girls, you guys tripping each other up left and right. 4 points up for Crooked River. Gets them on the board. And 4 more for the Darlings of Destruction. As Devious thought maybe she was heading to the penalty box, but no, just slowing up and checking with her coach.
Frantically calling the jam on the ground.
The jam and landing on her back. So 3 up for Crooked River.
Now we have our first time seeing number 99, Ripper in Half for the Darlings of Destruction, up against number 100, Rainstorm for Crooked River in the blue.
A 7-7 jam, 37-7 our total score, and timeout called.
Official timeout.
And Ripper in Half thought that was the whistle, like started to go forward and then fell back down.
I think any jammer's been there.
Uh-huh. Don't forget you can get in touch with us by using the hashtag #TalkToJRDA on Twitter. That's talk number 2 JRDA. I don't see anything coming in right now for either of these teams. But hopefully we'll see something shortly.
So it looks like all the refs are gathering in the middle. I wonder what they're talking about.
The zebra huddle. This crew worked the previous game as well, so I think the refs are doing back-to-backs and then taking a break. Thanks to all of our referees for showing up and helping out, volunteering with this organization.
Yes, without refs, this game would be mad chaos.
Yes, and big thanks to our junior refs. We have several of those, including in this group, TIE Fighter, who has the awesome spiky helmet.
Yeah, he's with Philly Roller Derby, am I correct?
I believe so. So one blocker on the track for Crooked River, but Crooked River able to grab lead jammer. Rainstorm with lead. And now with the a wave off as space opened up in the box and only two blockers on for Crooked River.
1 point, 2 point, 3, and 4.
Ripper in half. Rolling out finally, and a forearm penalty called on Rainstorm.
Making it a power jam for Ripper in half and the Darlings of Destruction.
And Ripper in half now moving in on a second scoring pass. 5 points on the first, now 5 more on the second pass. As the Darlings of Destruction trying to regroup and Crooked River moving towards the front. Darlings now skating forward to play some offense. Opening up a bit of a lane for Ripper in half, but Crooked River keeping pace and sliding to the front. Ripper throwing a shoulder or two. And we've got another minute to go in the jam as Rainstorm out of the penalty box and approaching the back of the pack, about to come onto the screen.
Remember that Rainstorm was the lead jammer, and since she is at the box, she's no longer lead jammer, which means this is going to be a full 2-minute jam.
It is indeed 15-4 so far. As Ripper in half tied up at the back of the pack. Rainstorm now coming around the outside edge and dodges around the
Beautiful
Darlings
little
of
mohawk.
Destruction pack. Rainstorm down slowly, getting up with a grimace and back on her feet and back on the track. Now 8-15.
Ripper in half is gritting it out.
That she is. Rainstorm wide open lane on the outside as the Darlings of Destruction focus on offense, trying to break their jammer free. And now Rainstorm again sliding past the outside of Pain Drop. And we're at an 18-15 run for Crooked River as the time runs out on the jam. Final points up 4 for Darlings of Destruction.
So that makes it a 19-18 jam between Darlings of Destruction and Crooked River.
And we will reset with number 75, Slugbug, jamming for Crooked River.
And back on the line again, we see number 28, Bonnet.
And Bonnet lining up well behind the line and then slowly rolling forward.
Beautiful juke, but then pushed to the inside.
Slugbug also bumped to the inside, but shooting through as Bonnet out first, lead jammer. Darlings of Destruction, rather. Crooked River has had 2. Darlings now with 3 lead jams for the game.
That was a beautiful shoulder check by Slugbug to the last line of defense, which I believe was number 31, Pound Cake.
Bonnet out, grabs the 4 points, calls off the jam, and we sit 60-25, Darlings of Destruction. 21 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the first period. Devious jamming against St. Andre.
I like how Devious has the 3 and the 1 in her name.
It's Devious.
That it is.
Makes it harder for us old people to pronounce. We have to ask, does that D3V1 us? What? St. Andre through first, lead jammer as Devious deposited in the infield.
Huge hit by the Darlings of Destruction wall.
Devious almost taken out a ref, but not quite. Now one skater to beat, works her way past number 101.
Looks like St. Andre is doing some jammer-on-jammer defense. And she calls it after Devious gets by.
So what is your feel on, as a jammer, do you play defense against the other jammer often, or do you tend to just slide past them and let the pack do the work.
As a jammer, the only time you'll see me doing jammer on jammer defense is at the very beginning, and I see the jammer is trying to follow me through my own wall. And so my whole goal is to get in her way, become part of the wall until she tries a different thing. Other than that, my whole goal is to ignore the other jammer.
All right. Tiki Torture jamming for the Darlings of Destruction is your lead jammer. Nat jamming for Crooked River, finally working out the front of the pack as Tiki Torture.
Huge offense for Tiki Torture, but still gets pushed out. This makes it a 4-point jam for the Darlings of Destruction and nothing for Crooked River.
So 69-25 right now with 19 minutes 30 seconds to go in the first period. Rainstorm back out on the line for Crooked River. St. Andre jamming for Darlings of Destruction.
See, both these teams are setting up in the tripod, since I've noticed this floor is extremely slick.
It certainly does seem that way. Out and a lead jammer going to Rainstorm, second jam that she has had lead and scored a number of points in the last one. I think that was that 18 or 19-point jam. And now on a power jam as Gabby St. Andre sent to the penalty box for the cut track penalty.
Beautiful toe stop work on the outside by Rainstorm, getting by for a 5-point pass.
And each team shedding one blocker to the penalty box as the Darlings of Destruction get a little relief out of the box as Ellen Degenerate returns to play.
See Rainstorm signaling to her team, help me, help me.
And they were playing more of the passive, just stand up and wait, now regrouping.
I guess part of it is know your jammer. Know your jammer and know the other wall. Let's see, do you think your jammer could push through without any help?
And Rainstorm does push through as Gabby St. Andre clears the pack on the initial. Calls off the jam, 15 total, taking Crooked River to 40. Darlings of Destruction 69.
Now, jamming Story Sky versus Tiki Torture.
And official timeout called.
We have Starry Skies on the line for Crooked River for the first time this game. I gotta say, I love her bright pink knee pads.
Those are very bright and very pink.
Make a statement, but they make a good one.
Very true. If you were listening on our international audience here on WFTDA.tv, the JRDA is now offering membership registration structures based on each country's local currency rates. So if membership in the JRDA is $200 for leagues outside of the U.S., it's $200 in that local country's currency, not $200 U.S. So you don't have to do assuming you use the dollar as your money source. If you're in Canada, it's $200 Canadian. For leagues in Australia, $200 Australian. If you're in Mexico, it would be, I don't know if that converts to 200 pesos or what, because I just have what they gave me. If you are a league outside the United States and you want to know what that cost will be, contact tech@juniorrollerderby.org, and they will send you a currency code that you can use when completing your membership registration.
You can see Adrenaline Rush as a blocker giving a quick high five to Starry Skies, some encouragement before the jam starts.
And now almost a jammer stare down with Tiki Torture. It's Starry Skies, Tiki sort of sliding in, and then they break into a bit of a smile. How much psyching out do you do with the other jammer at the line, or is it all friendship and high fives?
I really enjoy talking to the other jammers. Although one of my favorite things to do is check out the blockers. Do this cool eyebrow trick. I can control each of my eyebrows separately.
Like The Rock.
I like to stare straight into the kickstand's eyes and do that.
Using the people's eyebrow. Excellent. So one blocker on the track to start this jam for the Darlings of Destruction. Lead jammer going to Starry Skies, but right behind her is Tiki Torture. And the Darlings getting a bunch of relief from the penalty box.
Tiki Torture's through,
picking up a 5-point pass. And 3 points for Crooked River.
like to correct, that is a 4-point pass.
We have 4, and I was going to say, I'm like, that didn't make sense for 5. We'll see. The ref in the scoring table conferring, and yes, getting it to 73 to 43.
Get a 5-point scoring pass if you made a full lap around the other jammer.
I was wondering if there was a penalty called that we didn't see, but apparently not. And we're now out with Rainstorm jamming for Crooked River, Gabby St. Andre jamming for the Darlings of Destruction, and Rainstorm a lead jammer. 3 state jams that Crooked River has had lead.
Certainly on a roll.
They are. So St. Andre rolled back behind the pivot line and now finds room on the inside corner as we exit turn 2.
Looks like Rainstorm just got a cut track. This means it's going to be a power jam for Gabby St. Andre and the Darlings of Destruction.
Not what Crooked River was looking for when they're trailing by 30.
Not at all.
They'll have to tighten up the defense. St. Andre through.
They do have all
5-point pass.
They do have all 4 blockers on the track, so they're at least the best they can do, full capacity.
That they are, and St. Andre coming in, runs into the back of the
coming in super
Crooked
hot.
River blocker and picks up the back block penalty.
Gonna have a jammer switch out.
We will, and we will go for another 52 seconds of this 2-minute jam as Rainstorm, your lead jammer, headed to the penalty box as well. Rainstorm now pushing on the inside of turn 2, forced to the infield. Rolled back a bit as the Darlings of Destruction pack trying to regroup. Forced out again. Offensive assistance coming at the front. Rainstorm, 1 skater to beat, tripped up. Blocker called on the cut, and Rainstorm is out with 5. So a tie jam at this point as St. Andre out of the penalty box and skating through for 4. Rainstorm, 14 seconds remaining. Coming back in as Crooked River sets up at the back of the pack. 2 blockers at the front, Pound Cake and Ellen Degenerate for the Darlings of Destruction. As St. Andre forced out, Rainstorm comes through, picks up 4 as the jam comes to a close.
See, at the very end, Sophia Scorn as a blocker for Crooked River was drawing the Darlings of Destruction jammer all the way back before the jam was finally over.
So an 11-9 run for the Darlings of Destruction. 84-52 is our current score. And we've got number 44, Tiki Torture, jamming for the Darlings of Destruction, and Devious.
D3V10s.
Yes, jamming for Crooked River. No pack called. Devious struggling ahead, takes a heavy shoulder.
Beautiful toe stop work on that apex.
And lead jammer again for Crooked River. As Tiki Torture out of the pack. Devious approaching on a scoring run. Crooked River sending 1 blocker forward. I believe that was Nat going up to try some offense.
Devious calls it in what I believe was 2 points. Yes, indeed.
2 points just in time to stop the Darlings of Destruction from picking anything up. 84-54 with 13 minutes, 50 seconds to go in our first period of play. Once again, winner of this game moves into the 5th place game where they will face the winner of tonight's, the next game actually, the Pixies versus the Chick Whips. You're familiar with the Pixies.
I am very familiar with the Pixies.
And you got to see the Chick Whips yesterday.
Yes, we played the Chick Whips yesterday.
So it'll be 2 teams you guys have played. Very similar styles.
Yes, they're both big and hitty.
Yes.
They are.
That's how I would describe it, big and hitty.
Both teams have very heavy contacts, though. It's definitely a clash in styles between the Galaxy Girls and either of those teams.
Yes. Lissy B. jamming for the Darlings of Destruction. Little Miss Perfect for Crooked River. Little Miss Perfect pushing to the front. 2 skaters to beat, now 1, and a Little Miss Perfect
there
is
she
your
goes.
lead jammer. Lissy B. jamming still trapped in the pack. Working past Nat and Slugbug at the front holding the brace.
But that's some beautiful water falling from that Crooked River wall. But out she goes. She finds a small lane on the inside and shoots through.
Meanwhile, Little Miss Perfect calls off the jam. Did she get all 5? Yes, she did.
Sounds like a Little Miss Perfect jam.
That was a Little Miss Perfect jam. Very nice. Well done. 84 points to 59. Crooked River slowly chipping away at the Darlings' lead.
Is that a timeout
That
for
is a
Crooked
team
River?
timeout, Crooked River, it appears.
If you haven't had the opportunity, check out both skate tables. We got skate rats. We got all about.
So let's see. I won't ask you who you think is going to win the Chick Whips Pixies game because that would take all the fun out of watching it.
Absolutely.
Have you looked at any of the games on the Open Division track? Have you watched any over there?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Who were you following?
I am
on track one?
most closely following Mob City from Everett.
Mhm.
They are, as the Galaxy Girls, they are our sibling team. We do a lot of practice scrimmages with them and mashups.
Yeah, they had a rough game yesterday.
They did.
Came up against FOCO, and FOCO really brought it. So Mob sort of feels like they're in a bit of a rebuilding period. They had a number of skaters age out last year.
Definitely.
They're trying to bring up. They've got a lot of younger skaters, but they're not quite ready for the top level.
And a few of their key players are going to be aging out this year.
If they are. Hey, looking at the Twitter, hashtag #TalkToJRDA, Willow Aldrich would like everyone to know that Gab St. Andre is my wifey with 3 E's. So thank you, Willow, for that little note.
Congratulations on your marriage.
Yes. The Derpy Wives. Always a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
Rainstorm jamming for Crooked River. Sugar Baby jamming for the Darlings of Destruction.
Rainstorm has been a very successful jammer.
She
over
has.
the
She's,
past.
3 leads out of 4 jams, but not. Oh, possibly this time. Sugar Baby out first. No pass, no penalty, so not lead jammer.
Which means that lead is still available. So if Rainstorm gets out, then she's going to be lead.
That she will, unless something happens where she has the no pass, no penalty. However, coming through quickly, Sugar Baby grabbing the 5 points as Rainstorm hung up by the Darlings of Destruction defense and now passes the star off to Nat.
Which means there's going to be no lead jammer, and this is going to go the full 2 minutes.
No lead, and it wasn't Nat. I'm sorry, I saw the helmet and I was incorrect. That is Sophia Scorin. That's what I get for making a call based on a helmet shape and not the actual number. So just under a minute to go on the jam as Sugar Baby bumped out and rolled back with 5 points scored so far. Sophia Scorin on the scoring pass and dropped to the ground.
And that is a pass to Vanessa.
The double star pass now. Vanessa Bonnet now with the star on the head. And both jammers coming towards the pack as Crooked River gets some defensive assistance out of the penalty box. Sophia Scorin staring down with number 12 from Darlings of Destruction, McKenna Viska.
Nice mohawk around her. My
And
hips
now
don't move that way.
Devil Diva with the last hit and a forearm penalty called as the jam comes to a close. And Sophia Scorin called, and Coach Numbers out quickly asking for the official review. So we will pause while Numbers chats with the referees. And our head ref, Alan Grill, calling the Darlings of Destruction pack out, or coach and captain out to the center to discuss.
It's always a good habit to bring your captains out during a official review.
Now, is that part of, I've never actually filled out their signed the end of game paperwork. Do you have to, is there something about the official, I know they track the official reviews, but I think if it's not an ejection, there's no paperwork to sign. Is that right? Or am I just making that up?
I believe that's correct.
All right.
I've only been in one captain's meeting where I've actually had to sign ejection paperwork. That was 2 years ago at the 2015 Wild West.
Always a tricky one.
Yes.
Looking at Twitter again on the hashtag #TalkToJRDA, Ripper in Half. Hey, she's skating in this. Says, thanks for the wheels, House of Skate, and calls out Kiki especially. So I guess House of Skate must be a skate shop. Helping out Ripper in Half to let her skate on wheels, which is good because skating without wheels would be real. That'd just be running.
That'd be very impressive, though.
It would be. It wouldn't be very good for the floor, I guess.
flyer drive.
Now I'm curious. I want to see a whole jam where everyone on the track takes off their wheels and just has the whole jam on their toe
Just on
stops.
toe stop. Well, some jams it looks like you guys are just on your toe stops the entire time.
Sometimes it feels like that.
Yeah.
It's freaking me out, so, you know, whatever. I'm used to it. But thanks to you for getting your skaters out here. It's not
Let's see.
easy
Oh,
to
if you're having a watch party, and we have seen some come through for our JRDA watch party. If you're having a watch party, post your picture to Twitter or Facebook. Has to be a public post if you're putting it on the Facebook, because otherwise we won't see it. Tag it with hashtag JRDA watch party. Do this before the end of the weekend. There will be prizes awarded. I'm assuming it's a random drawing. No one has asked me to judge these pictures, which is probably a good thing. I would just go with people I know because I'm partial like that, at least when it comes to photo contests.
And in the meantime, we are waiting for
As the officials reviewing the score, 18-8 on that last jam. Darling's Destruction now up to 102, Crooked River 67, with a little over 10 minutes to go in the half.
Is anybody else cold over here? Good Lord. It has
So what? Let's see. I asked you about what your favorite defense to jam against. What do you find especially effective that the Seattle Derby Rats team does on the offensive side? So I know offensive blocking has kind of come in over the last couple of years. Before it was just let's stop people from going anywhere. Now it's let's stop people but also help us go somewhere. So what do you guys do that you prefer?
What I do that I prefer for my offense is I like to have my team split in half, and I'm talking about a power jam situation. I like having my team split in half and go in for a pinch. So two blockers on either side pinching the opposing team's wall, leaving me two nice
Either side, yes.
either side. And if the opponent's wall is really good at reforming, it'll kind of shake them up a bit.
I have seen that being very effective in the last couple of games, especially when the other pack is a little smaller. It seems like if it's got
Yes,
two or
definitely,
three, it's easy to squish them together. All right, so on the official review, Crooked River was asking for a cut track penalty to be called on the Darlings of Destruction jammer. It was determined that it was a no pass, no penalty, therefore the no call will stand. And as soon as Alan, your grill is done telling that to the crowd, we will return to roller derby with Devious wearing the star for Crooked River and Gabby St. Andre jamming for Darlings of Destruction.
Each team gets only one official review per half, so Crooked River can't review anything else for the remaining 10 minutes and 7 seconds.
And they can't use it as a timeout if they need to at the very end. I'm often surprised that teams don't use that more often as the timeout right at the end. But
No. I coach a younger positional team, and that's one of my favorite advantages, one of the things I like to take advantage of, using that official review as a final timeout.
Gabby St. Andre out as lead jammer. Devious has cleared the pack, about a half a track behind as St. Andre enters the pack and calls off the jam just as Devious hits the pack and takes out her pivot, but does collect 2 points. A 4-2 run for the Darlings of Destruction.
That hit that Devious did on her own teammate, that took my breath away. I thought that was a opposing skater. I was, ooh.
Yeah, those unintentional, like I'm jumping and then I'm landing and I can't quite keep my feet going.
Remember, you can do whatever you want to your own team.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. All right, Vanessa Bonnet now jamming for the Darlings of Destruction. Crooked River sending out Rainstorm, and Bonnet out first, lead jammer. As Rainstorm breaking out quickly, one blocker on the track for Crooked River. And Rainstorm goes, or Bonnet rather does, I'll just take the quick one pass one person, get 4 points route.
I don't blame her.
Yeah. No sense making your defense work extra hard when you can just grab some points and pass it off.
Looks like for the first time on the jam line, we have number 88, Megan Ufall for Crooked River Roller Girls.
And that is Gabby St. Andre set to jam for the Darlings of Destruction. 2 blockers now on the track For Crooked River, one of the blockers in the penalty box is standing, so they will get some relief shortly. Megan Ufall knocked out, no pass, no penalty called, and lead jammer going to Gabby St. Andre.
Just realized how incredibly fast Megan Ufall is.
Very caught up super quick, didn't she? And hops around, almost got the points, but not there before the whistle blew.
Darlings of Destruction picking up a single point, and we have another official review, but this time by the Darlings of Destruction.
I'm going to just go out on a limb and guess that they're asking for a cut track instead of that no pass, no penalty. Yes. Just a thought. If you were a coach, is that what you would do? Were you coaching this team, or would you say, oh, we'll let it go, we're winning?
I'm not sure.
All right.
Truthfully. Since there's not very much time left in the half, there's maybe 10, not 10 more jams, but there's maybe 5 more jams coming up. So you're not going to have many times to use your official review, and you lose it. So might as well use it.
All right. Rainstorm skating off to the side to check in with the third base coach as the referees huddle in the middle, and coaches and captains for both teams wait impatiently in the middle of the track.
Having a coach on the other side of the track is one of the most helpful things I've ever had as a jammer. Because sometimes you get caught up in the moment, you can't hear your bench coaches. They're telling you to call it, they're telling you to run it, they're telling you to pass it, and that coach on the other side is the one who tells you to, who mimics what your bench coaches are saying. So,
do you guys use the coach on the corner? Sometimes, not always, or
sometimes we do it.
Yeah.
Another thing that we do is we use our skaters who are not going to be skating in that game.
Gotcha. Right, because you have a 20 skater charter, so not everyone gets to gets to play. And you brought all 20 here. Well, 19 since poor
Mad Taco.
Poor Mad Taco got hurt 3 days before you left.
I think she got a concussion on our practice. We practiced 2 days before we left.
Yeah, that's sad and unfortunate to have to leave someone behind.
As you may have noticed, all the Galaxy girls are wearing number 80 on our ankles in honor of Mad Taco.
Ah, very nice. So if Taco's watching,
hi Taco.
We're sorry you're not here.
She's gonna be one of my roommates.
Oh, well, I guess that opens up some space in your room, though. So that's
true.
Maybe good.
Which means
depending on how tightly packed you guys are.
Oh no, I'm still on the air mattress.
Oh, well,
it's better than the floor.
There you have it. All right, All on Your Grill is checking in with the coaches and captains.
Which means we're going to have something soon.
We will. In fact, here comes one of the refs to talk to me about it. Hang on a sec.
So Black, as the Darlings of Destruction, was looking for a cut call on the Crooked River jammer during her initial pass. And how did that turn out,
So
Scott?
excellent lead-in. It turns out that the skaters that had run back, she had already passed, and therefore it was the no impact, no penalty.
No pass, no problem.
The no call will stand, and Crooked River or Darlings of Destruction rather, have used their official review for the half. But hey, they get another one next half.
Sure do.
So each team now has used their official reviews. Crooked River down 1 timeout.
Your timeouts do not get replenished at the half, so you need to be a little careful with them. In fact, some people will even use their official review as an extra timeout.
I was at a game once where one of the coaches thought that the head ref at the coach captain's meeting said they got 3 timeouts per half, and so used them all up in the first half, and then the second half tried to call a timeout, and they're like, you don't have any left. He was embarrassed.
Yes.
So 112-69, Tiki Torture jamming for Darlings of Destruction. Rainstorm jamming for Crooked River, and Rainstorm out lead jammer for the Crooked River Roller Girls.
We have Tiki Torture about half a track behind.
Rainstorm cutting to the outside.
Picking up a couple points.
Yes, as the Crooked River had caught a goat in the back. With Devil Diva
Still
moving.
going.
Yep, Devil Diva moving back forward to join up with the pack.
You see Rainstorm very comfortable on that inside line.
Did get bumped out, calls off the jam with a very emphatic flapping of the arms.
Sometimes that's what you got to do. You got to be a little bird.
Yes, what's your general call-off style? Are you the
if
large arms or the little tap? Or
I'm a little tap. But if the ref doesn't call it within the first few taps,
Then you get bigger.
I'll get real big.
Do you scream at them? I like one of the teams, I think it was the Pixies, have a jammer that just yells out, "I'm calling it off," as she's tapping her hips.
She just screams.
Just screams? Oh, okay.
See, last year on my previous team, the Seattle Rebrat Ultraviolets, during every practice, they asked that the jammers yell calling it during scrimmages.
Oh, okay.
So that's become a habit of mine.
Gotcha.
And so before each bout that I play in, it's very important that I talk to the jam ref.
Hey, I'm not angry at you. This is what I do.
It's habit now.
Gabby St. Andre jamming for the Darlings of Destruction, lead jammer and through for 5 points.
Nat doing a beautiful duck under the Darlings of Destruction's blockers on the outside.
And Gabby St. Andre rolling through for another 4. Presumably calls off the jam. There's the 4 fingers. So a 9-point jam, 9-0 run, 123-72 as we're under 6 minutes to go in the first period.
Out we have Bonnet and Devious, which is a replay of the first jam and a few other jams.
It is.
Must be becoming friends.
I don't see them, sharing hugs or talking much. These teams are in the same, both in the Great Lakes division, or region rather. So they have faced each other a few times. Devious muscling through the pack very quickly,
Wow.
lead jammer.
And Vanessa Bonnet frantically catching up.
And giving chase as Devious trying to put on some speed, feels the pressure, calls off the jam.
So these two teams have played 3 times in the past 2 years. Darlings of Destruction taking the win all 3 of those games. So let's see what Crooked River, they want this.
I'm fairly certain they do. They had the hard-fought win yesterday over Gapland. As Gapland kept it fairly close for a bit and then finally succumbed as Crooked River pushed ahead in the second half.
I was watching that. That was a fantastic game.
And now we've got Gabby St. Andre jamming against Starry Skies. This is Starry Skies' second jam of the game, and Gabby St. Andre, lead jammer. 3 blockers on the track for Crooked River as St. Andre.
Huge hit by Slugbug, the pivot for Crooked River, knocking St. Andre into the middle.
And Starry Skies finally clears the pack. St. Andre, 1 to beat. Just avoiding walking dead bear.
Perfect
Calls off
timing.
the jam, yes.
Perfect timing, leaving Crooked River at 0 points.
So 127-72 is where we stand with that 4-0 run. And just under 4 minutes to go in the half. With Adrenaline Rush with the star for the first time this afternoon for Crooked River. And Vanessa Bonnet jamming for the Darlings of Destruction. And Vanessa Bonnet pushing through the front, but
Adrenaline Rush rushing through that pack.
yes, found the line on the inside. And now throwing a shoulder at Bonnet, but Bonnet rolls past and says, "You should probably call this jam off." And she heeds that advice. Now, I've noticed in a couple of games that the Galaxy girls, if sometimes when the opposing jammer gets out and past the jammer, they will call it off. Sometimes not. What tends to drive that? Or do you know, because I see that the coaches are generally signaling when to call the jam off. Have you talked to them about, okay, why did we call it now versus not calling it?
Generally, I do what the coaches say.
Right.
But
Good. That's a good plan generally. It keeps them happy.
the Galaxy girls, we are very proud of our humanity.
All right.
We like being a conscientious team, a caring team, a team that people can look up to. without feeling guilty about it, without saying they play fair, they play smart. So.
Big hop and a tie up in the corner. Sorry to interrupt as I was trying to jump and got tripped up on the way through.
But she made that jump on the straightaway.
And did roll through for 4 points as the jam is called off. Crooked River also grabbing 4. And we will roll back. What I've noticed is it seems to be more when you have skaters in the penalty box, then the coaches are like, just keep the jam going until they come out.
I guess I wasn't thinking blocker mind.
See? You got to think blocker mind. But that's not always the case, because occasionally it does seem to be, or we're going to run the pack and just let the other team gas out perhaps or whatnot.
Huge hit by Darlings of Destruction. Didn't see that number, but huge hit taking out the single blocker of Crooked River. Thinking about calling it off. Only tapped her hips once. You have to tap your hips 2 times.
To get the whistle to blow. That is true. Bonnet 5 points up on the first pass. Micro pack, 2 blockers for Crooked River, 1 for Darlings of Destruction. Now 3 for Crooked River as Devious trying to catch back up to get some points.
Coaches are yelling at her. Call it, call it, call it. Have 50 seconds left, so probably going to get one more jam in before the half.
Yes, a 5 and a 5 is 10 total for the Darlings of Destruction, 0 showing up for Crooked River. And official timeout called for a moment while Alan Your Grill checks in.
Making sure I's are dotted, T's are crossed.
Yes.
Or that
more importantly, that people are in the right places, since I think there was a lot of penalty action going on between those 2 jams.
That's true. There was a micro pack for a long time with different people. People were switching in and out.
Adrenaline Rush with the star again for Crooked River, and Gabby St. Andre set to jam for Darlings of Destruction.
Notice Gabby St. Andre likes to start about 10 feet back and slowly move forward.
Slowly creeps up, yes. Like almost timing it at the 5 seconds so she doesn't have to stop at all. But at this point, Adrenaline Rush working around the outside lead jammer, Crooked River, as we have 23 seconds of period clock, minute 47 on the jam clock. St. Andre held up.
Nice juke to the outside by Adrenaline Rush.
Gabby St. Andre finally clears as Adrenaline Rush rolls well back behind the pack. I believe it already picked up. Oh, huge shoulder. And Adrenaline Rush hits the brakes and taps the hips, grabs all 5 points.
Perfect timing, leaving Darlings of Destruction at 0 by just a couple feet.
And I think that was Pound Cake with the shoulder, not 100% certain, but an excellent hit to end the jam and end the half. So we sit Darlings of Destruction 141, Crooked River 81. And we are at halftime, and we'll take approximately 10 minutes, I believe. And we will be back with the second half of the Darlings of Destruction versus Crooked River Varsity. You are watching WFTDA.tv. Thank you, Bella. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
All right, I'll see you in 10 minutes.
Hey, look, we're back on.
I'm not.
They juked us by going out of the radar ad and straight into the video.
Hi.
Hi, Bella. Welcome back to the, what game are we on? Several game of the day.
We have Darlings of Destruction and Crooked River.
Yes, game number 10, our 4th game of the day. I can count. Look at that. Winner of this game moves into our 5th place game tomorrow at 2 p.m. facing the winner of the next game, the Pixies versus the Chick Whips. Loser will play for 7th against the loser of that game. Penalty board didn't get the numbers by skater, but nobody has more than 3, so I don't think hopefully won't see anyone foul out.
Props.
If they keep it clean. It has felt, there were a couple of jams that were a little messy and a lot of people going to the box, but in general, not too chippy.
Yeah, I'd say
general.
that these penalties are, neither team is in serious penalty trouble. There have been very few power jams, so both these teams are doing a really good job of keeping their jammers on the track, which is important to get points.
That they have by my count, I think I had 3 power jams for Darlings of Destruction, none for Crooked River, although I may have Very likely missed one.
There was a swap
there one?
out, so there's
Oh,
one
swap.
for,
Yes, that's true.
There's a swap out, which means
See,
there's one.
this is
for
why I have
Crooked
the young
River.
brain on the team so that you can remember things that I forget.
Also a certified ref.
There you go. Ref, coach, skater, now announcer. You've covered. You've got the quadrifecta of roller derby. You can do anything you want.
I'm also an NSO.
Oh, man. That'll be what, quintafecta?
And a fan.
All right, now it's getting a little out of control. We are
Derby, yeah.
1 second left, and halftime is over immediately.
And there they go.
Clock hits, and they go straight to the game, and everyone's still looking at us.
Immediately, Vanessa.
Vanessa Bonnet heading to the penalty box. So we were talking about no jammer penalties, and there's a jammer penalty.
Which means
That's
it's a power
number 28.
jam for Rainstorm and Crooked River. And knows Vanessa Bonnet took. Oh!
Let's have a double jammer penalty. How about as a cut track for Rainstorm?
First
So
jam.
we will swap out. The pack, meanwhile, as we're in radio mode, there we go. Camera's back on the track. Pack set up at the top of track 2. Bonnet out of the penalty box first. Runs up to the front. 1 to beat.
In her initial pass, she's not jammer. This is going to be a full 2-minute jam.
It will. As both picking up penalties in that first 30 seconds or so of the jam. Bonnet now in on a scoring pass as Rainstorm pushing forward towards the front.
When there is a jammer swap out, the jammer that comes in second only has to serve the amount of times that the first jammer, the amount of seconds that the first jammer was there.
Yeah, so both very short on their penalty, and now a very thin pack as both teams with 2 blockers on the track.
Beautiful spin by Rainstorm on the inside line.
Avoiding that hip check from Slugbug, and both through with 4, so an 8-4 jam so far. Darlings of Destruction with the jam lead. Rainstorm pushing through as Bonnet getting caught up at the front. Vanessa finally clears out as the Darlings of Destruction now freed up to full strength. Still only 2 blockers on the track for Crooked River, but now there are reinforcements rolling out of the box and coming in, but the pack for Crooked River split in half.
It seems to be working, messing up Vanessa Bonnet. And that looks like that could be a back block. Or an elbow. Elbow, forearm.
He's going to be one of those things, and it is a forearm penalty, sending Bonnet to the penalty box as the jam comes to a close.
Rainstorm almost falling, somehow managing to stay on one skate while leaning backwards. Takes skill.
Yes, and picks up the 5 points on the last pass, so a 1-point advantage for Crooked River takes them to 94. Darlings of Destruction 156, and the power start for number 777, Devious.
Devious on the line, pumping up her team, pumping up her fans. You can see her. The Crooked River wall is split in half, going to go pinch the Darlings of Destruction defense.
Yes, your favorite offensive maneuver by the pack.
That is my favorite offensive maneuver.
Mentioned that in the first half. So Devious lead jammer. On the power jam, cutting past, picking up 1 point there, and now rolling into the rest of the pack as we've got a tripod at the front, now splitting into a pair. Devious shoulder down, pushing the blocking sled forward as Vanessa Bonnet standing in the penalty box, now released, and Devious is through with 5 points.
And Vanessa Bonnet is now released. She's still on her initial pass.
And Bonnet runs in cries out no pack as she rolled through. I think she was hoping to get that call, but pushed through anyway and clears the pack as Devious hits the pack on her second scoring pass, taps the hips to call off the jam as she slides out of bounds. Takes a seat, takes a breath, gets an assist up from Slugbug.
That was a tough jam.
That was a total of 7. Takes us to 101, Crooked River 156. Darlings of Destruction.
Devious plopping down on her bench, just taking a few breaths. I don't blame her.
So number 44, Tiki Torture jamming for Darlings of Destruction. Nat jamming for Crooked River.
Wow.
And Tiki
Beautiful
Torture.
toe stop work by Tiki Torture.
Hopping up that line. Nat looking for a gap on the outside. Number 31 giving chase. That's Pound Cake, can't catch up. And Nat clears the pack as Tiki Torture in on the scoring run. Taps the hips and picks up the
4-0. both these teams have been very good on their timing of call-offs. For the most part, leaving it at a 4-0, 5-0, like that at the last second, which is reflecting well on their jammers. They know what they're doing.
St. Andre asking her coach, hey, why don't we officially review something? All right, they will. What the heck? So Gabby St. Andre saw something didn't like, wanted a review.
Let's see what it is.
They will head out to find out. Don't forget to get in contact with us on the Twitters, hashtag #Talk2JRDA. That's talk number 2 JRDA. And you can also tag if you're taking pictures of your watch party. You post the picture online either on Twitter or Facebook with the hashtag JRDA Watch Party.
We like to see your faces.
We do. It's excellent. There have been a couple pictures coming in. I saw one from Boomerang. It's a picture. The screen doesn't have us. It's got the other track. But still, that we'll allow that. And someone watching the Seattle Derby Brats game earlier,
Nice
Buffy D.
moves.
Slayer.
Nice moves, Frank the Bunny.
Yeah.
Frank the Bunny has amazing moves. This is her first season on Galaxy. She used to play with I5 Roller Girls, which tragically have split
Sadly
up.
folded. Yeah.
Split up.
Sad to see that team go.
They have pretty much moved between the Seattle Derby Brats and Mob City, the co-ed team in the Seattle area, who's also here playing on the other track in the open division.
They are. In fact, they will be playing at some point later today, I think, right? Let's look at the,
I believe,
at the screen.
yes, sometime later today.
They are playing the 6 o'clock game against the Attack Pack.
That's going to be a really good game.
That will be fun to watch. And right now on the other track, I think we have River City playing Tampa. I'm fairly certain.
Yes,
I
that
didn't
sounds
fill
right.
out this part of the bracket.
I saw those teams warming up together. So we have the Darlings of Destruction challenging a cut call on the Blue Jammer. And it looks like that the outside Peck referee did call the cut, which means the previous Blue Jammer, who was, I believe, devious.
Let me see. Who do I have? No, it was Nat on the last
Oh, it
jam.
was Nat. So
She goes and
Nat
picks
is
up
going
the
to
star?
be starting in the box as Darlings of Destruction win their official review.
And Alan, your grill will now come over and announce that to the crowd. But yes, the outside pack ref, they said, as you mentioned, I think, called it, and no one picked it up. Just you got to yell louder, maybe. You ref, how much work do you have to do work on your voice to get to project better and learn to yell loud enough that people can hear you?
Well, I started reffing after about 7 years of already skating derby. And a few of those years, like serious travel teams. So I've been working on my loud voice.
Just yelling at your teammates gets you the
Yes.
loud voice that you need.
I'm very good at being loud.
All right. So, Pack lined up at the pivot line with the 3 blockers for the Darlings of Destruction off to the outside edge. Chick whips with the tripod and the outrider, and the whistle blows, and there goes the sweep, trying to open things up to the inside, but Crooked River staying ahead as Vanessa Bonnet jamming for Darlings of Destruction finally finds her way out the outside. Lead jammer.
Notice that the scoreboard on your stream says Rainstorm is jamming when it's going to be, I believe, number 78, Nat, is the actual Crooked River jammer.
Yes, Rainstorm had come out to jam. I think they adjusted the clock then and hadn't made the shift with the penalty. Nat now out of the penalty box as Bonnet rolls through, picks up 4 points. Adding to the 5 from earlier is a 9
And got another
total.
cut. Nat is not happy about that.
So Nat heading back to the penalty box, calling in, checking in with her coach. And the jam called before she sat down, so a full 30 seconds on the power jam in the second, or in this next jam. And a 5-point pass there takes us to 174 to 101, and an official timeout called. as the referees meeting to chat in the middle. And meanwhile, coaches checking in. Coach Payne out to talk to the Darlington Destruction. Coach Numbers hanging at the bench.
One of the things I think could be really helpful for Crooked River is keeping their hips forward while blocking. They're very comfortable sideways, and the entire side of your body is completely legal hitting zone. So keeping your hips forward would give you less hitting zone and a much stronger wall, since your steams will be together and you don't have to be reaching, risking a multiplayer, or risking injury.
And injury is generally frowned upon, I would assume.
Injuries are frowned upon.
They're both painful and they take you out of play.
Yes, I have had my share of injuries between back problems, bruised tailbone, concussion.
Always fun to bruise the tailbone. Well, yeah, you'd
Yeah.
mentioned that you've how many years have you been skating now?
This
You are
is the end of my 8th season.
8th season. So you started you're 17-ish now, right? So you started
Yes.
about.
So my birthday is
Nice.
in next Friday.
Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you. I'm going to be turning 17.
All right, going in, and so yes, that'll mean got that senior year next year, last year of the juniors. Then you can move on to dominate the adults.
Oh, yeah. So it looks like they took Nat out of the penalty box, saying that she did not get that second cut. It was a mistake on the ref's part.
All right, so
So we have Rainstorm out to jam, and it's going to be 2 jammers on the track. We have
Excellent.
1 Darlings of Destruction jammer in the blocker in the box. So it is a 1-person advantage to the Crooked River wall.
I was going to wonder if they get 2 jammers. They got a jammer in the box and one on the track. Sugar Baby jamming for the Darlings of Destruction. Rainstorm, as you mentioned, for Crooked River. And the whole pack swarming together as it thins out a bit with a penalty to number 20, Payne Drop. And the lead jammer going to Crooked River, Rainstorm. But about a third lap behind Sugar Baby, giving chase. As Crooked River lining up to the outside, 2 blockers on the track right now, I believe, for the Darlings of Destruction.
So it happened right there, was exactly what I was talking about in between jams. These Crooked River blockers are all sideways, leaving them vulnerable to really big hits from jammers.
And that hit worked as Sugar Baby out. Rainstorm calls off the jam. And illegal procedure called on Sugar Baby with the misconduct for the hit after the whistle.
It was a big one.
And it was, and I think the skater was going for a back block, but the ref's like, no, it was after the whistle, so we'll call it what it is. So a power start for Crooked River. And Johnny Photog asks, question, where do we find scores for completed champs games? I believe that on the JRDA Facebook page they are posting that. So head to Facebook and look for the JRDA page. Lead jammer, meanwhile, Adrenaline Rush of Crooked River. There's no pack called. Crooked River rolling forward. The out of play failure to reform penalty called. Thins them out, but 5 points up for Adrenaline Rush.
Have Sugar Baby standing in the box, and she's just released shortly behind Adrenaline Rush. She's still on her initial pass and immediately passed it to the jammer, which is Vanessa Bonnet.
Bonnet quickly grabbing. I saw her rolling back, and I'm like, oh, did they catch a goat? No, wait, she's just waiting for the star to show up. Now, in your game earlier with Gotham, lots of star passes from that team.
Yes, which I respect. Star passes are something that is underutilized, but so effective.
It is it seems to be a very good strategy, especially if you don't have lead, to just get the cover off. You can pass it, you can not.
And I would like to give a shout out to the Gotham Girls Junior Derby because their star passes were amazing. Like, they were so smooth, didn't even know it was happening.
All right, devious jamming for Crooked River. Gabby St. Andre jamming for the Darlings of Destruction, and devious is out first, lead jammer. As Gabby St. Andre 20 feet behind. The pack thinning out a bit as one blocker from Darlings of Destruction heads to the penalty box. Crooked River trying to break up the remaining pack.
Out goes Gabby St. Andre. Last defense is Starry Skies.
Starry Skies now the only defense on the track for Crooked River as they have 3 blockers in the penalty box.
So that's going to be a 4-3 jam with Darlings of Destruction on that 4. So they won the jam, even though Crooked River was lead.
That they did, and 183 to 118 with 20 and a half minutes to go in the game. We'll reset. Rainstorm set to jam again for Crooked River, and number 44, Tiki Torture, jamming for the Darlings of Destruction. Both jammers looking to the outside and both slipping out of bounds. Tiki Torture is clear and is your lead jammer. As the toe stop coming off to somebody. I think that might be Kryptonic K that's missing the toe stop right now. Hopping over the corner, Tiki Torture picks up 5 points. Landed with the foot inbounds and kept the other toe up as it grazed over the line. Tiki Torture sliding in. That is going to be a back block.
Huge back block.
Definitely, as she ran right into the back of Rainstorm. And Rainstorm now on the power jam. Bumped, but keeps the feet inbounds. Completes the initial pass. And we will have another minute and 11 seconds of roller derby in this jam. As Crooked River with 4 blockers on the track, 3 on the track for Darlings of Destruction. And they are split up as Crooked River catching the goat at the back.
You can see Crooked River with their goat at the back. Personally, I do not find that an effective offense.
No? Well, it does leave that blocker out of the back.
It leaves that one blocker out, except these 4 players could be actually getting the rest of the blockers out of the way rather than just keeping one.
More offense rather than defense.
Yes, since they're basically just doing a passive offense with
someone trapped at the back.
With someone trapped.
And Nat picking up a penalty in the pack, heads to the penalty box as Tiki Torture now out of the penalty box, and cut track called on Rainstorm as she came in while Bonnet was backing up and then didn't go back out of bounds, just kept following her like, yeah, I see you there.
Her intent, she was trying to go back, just stepped in too early.
Yep. And the refs will call that if you don't slide back out of bounds. Bonnet hopping over Tiki Torture.
Beautiful jump by Bonnet at the very last second. Got that toe stop down right as the whistle was called.
So Tiki Torture adding 14 to the Darlings of Destruction total, 10 for Crooked River, 197 to 128. And we pass the star off to Ellen Degenerate, jamming, I believe, for the first time.
Yes.
This afternoon for the Darlings of Destruction on the power start.
Must say I love that name.
And the DOD now starting with I called a game with one of the skaters from Gapland yesterday, and she referred to that starting position as the cocktail weenies starter. With the 2 skaters on either side, and I thought that's a very strange Canadian phrase, but all right.
Yes, it must be Canadian.
It did work in this case, as Ellen Degenerate is your lead jammer.
We call it tabletop.
And Ellen Degenerate now rolling towards the front. 2 skaters holding her up as Adrenaline Rush teaming up with Starry Skies.
Don't let those pink knee pads fool you. Starry Skies is a force to be reckoned with as a blocker.
Yes, she is, and slow to get up is number 100 Rainstorm, but she does get up on her own energy and rolls back over to the bench.
So, since the jam was not called for penalty, she does not have to sit for 3, although I recommend she does.
She takes a little break. Yeah, it looked like she might have gotten a bit winded on that shot. As with the altitude plus the big hits.
Man, this altitude.
Easy to Detroit also close to sea level, so
from Seattle. Seattle's on sea level.
Exactly, same boat as we are. Gabby St. Andre, lead jammer. Number 23, Slugbug jamming for the Crooked River varsity team. Slugbug now approaching, and Gabby St. Andre calls off the jam, grabs the 4 points, shuts it down. DOD now with 2:06, Crooked River 128, 16 minutes even to go in the game. Darlington Destruction, 1 blocker in the penalty box. So 4-on-3 advantage as Crooked River swapping places. Oh, Crooked River also with 1 down. Couldn't see their skater in the box as Coach Numbers was standing between me and the penalty box. We've got Nat jamming for Crooked River, and Ellen Degenerate jamming again for the Darlings of Destruction.
And there she goes.
Nat almost clear, but bumped out.
Almost.
And the run back coming, but not called us. They rolled out of bounds or were out of play. So now we've got the no pass, no penalty. I'm thinking she came in early. She can't be lead jammer, and the ref corrects himself.
Yes, seemed to make 3 different calls until he finally made up his mind.
Landed on the correct one. Nat called with the low block penalty. So heading to the penalty box. By my count, that's 3 for her in this half. I did not catch her number total overall, but I believe she had 1 or 2 in the first half, so Nat may be getting close. Ellen Degenerate, lead jammer still open, forced out of bounds and moving towards the back of the pack as Vanessa Bonnet also rolling in, and Ellen Degenerate star off now, passing it off to
Sophia Bonnet, or Vanessa Bonnet.
Vanessa Bonnet, yes.
Not sure where I got Sophia.
All I know is that Bonnet is out, not lead jammer. 45 more seconds of jam time as Nat emerges from the penalty box. Both packs slightly thin. 2 blockers on the track for Crooked River. 3 for
There
Darlings
goes
of Destruction.
Vanessa Bonnet.
Bonnet grabs the 4. Nat pushing forward as reinforcements arrive. Ellen Degenerate's waterfalling forward to slow things up. And Nat finally rolling out as Crooked River trying to stop Vanessa Bonnet, not able to do so.
Vanessa Bonnet is like a hot knife through butter. Just slipping through. Not sure how she does it.
She is tearing it up on the track for this game, certainly. Nat now chasing after Bonnet. Wide open lane on the outside, then trading shoulders with number 42, Adrenaline Rush.
Getting all 5 points for Vanessa Bonnet on the Darlings of Destruction.
And Nat picking up 2 at the very end. So a 13-6 run, 219 to 134 with 13 and a half minutes to go.
We have Devious back on the line. Haven't seen her for a few jams. The last jam she was in, she looked a little winded. Need to take a quick break. Looks like she's back, ready to go.
That she is, and we've also got number 99, Ripper and Half, set for the Darlings of Destruction, and we got a little extra, I believe it sounds like it might be a mouth guard left on the track. That's not where you want it.
Not at all.
Coach Numbers runs out to retrieve. Apparently they identified which team had the mouth guard. Then we'll have to rinse it off with a little water.
Curious whose it is.
Call it good. No one, at least the coach rinsed it with water and didn't just like stick it in his mouth and lick it off like they would with a parent and a binky. Devious is out, lead jammer for Crooked River, and on a power jam as well.
To clear it up, that was Kryptonic K's mouth guard.
That is good. It's good that we know who lost the mouth guard partway through. Didn't catch the penalty to Ripper and Half, but Devious with the power jam, 5 points up. And in speed skater form, claps the hands saying, hey, team, let's move forward and open something up. Hops the corner.
And there she goes.
Yes, perfectly set up. Got the opponent right on the corner where she wanted him. A little bit of a move to the inside. Now Ripper and Half out of the penalty box and back engaged with the back of the Crooked River pack.
A nice line on the outside. And some fancy footwork out there.
Very fancy. Devious on a third scoring pass calls off the jam. But the whistle's not blowing before we had Ripper and Half grabbing a couple of points there.
Well, I did notice Devious was calling it for a while before made the 4 whistles.
Yep, so 1 point snuck in by Darlings of Destruction. 12-1 run, 146 Crooked River, 220 Darlings of Destruction. Ticking down to 11.5 minutes to go in the game. With Rainstorm jamming for Crooked River, Tiki Torture for the Darlings of Destruction, and Tiki Torture.
Yet another power jam for Crooked River.
Tiki Torture, I believe, picking up the back block on that play. And that gives lead jammer to
like
Rainstorm.
Rainstorm might have been hit in the face on her initial pass. I saw her rubbing her chin. So, but looks good, and I don't see anyone out on a high block, so might be mistaken. 5
points up for Rainstorm. As the Darlings of Destruction get an assist, Rainstorm tries to jump, lands right into a skater. Someone getting called on that, and the out-of-play block called on the Darlings of Destruction blocker as she rolled her foot back out of bounds, I believe, right before that impact.
Saw that hit right there, right as I was in the middle of taking a sip of water.
Well, I'm glad you
and almost spit it out.
Water all over the screen. That would have been bad. So 220 to 151 with 10 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the game. Tiki Torture back out with the star.
And Adrenaline Rush. Adrenaline Rush has been a very powerful jammer, just kind of plowing over anyone in her way.
She has only 2 blockers to beat, but they are holding solid as Tiki Torture rolled out of bounds and then pushed back. Adrenaline Rush up and through, no pass, no penalty. Gives the lead jammer off to Tiki Torture.
They're right next to each other.
Yes, very quick through. Adrenaline Rush forced out of bounds, and the skater that hit her going down, so she opted to get back up and come through rather than wait. Does pick up the 4 points on that run.
Adrenaline Rush got 4 points, and Tiki Torture got a penalty. It was a cut track.
Yeah, so 2 penalties and 2 straight jams for Tiki Torture. And we are power jam for Adrenaline Rush. Has 4 points so far on the jam.
And another 5. Another 5, that makes 9.
That does, and 2 blockers on the track for Darlings of Destruction.
See, Tiki Torture just stood up, so she has about maybe 5 seconds left as of now.
And Adrenaline Rush through for a second, 5 points, 14 total on the jam. As Tiki Torture, as you mentioned, now out of the penalty box and looking for room on the outside. No space there, cuts back to the in. As we're down to 50 seconds remaining in the jam, Tiki Torture forced to the inside, collides with Adrenaline Rush out of bounds.
Adrenaline Rush is slow to get up, but good she's still skating.
Yes, indeed. Tiki Torture hops over the middle, picks up 4 points, so a 9-4 jam, although the scoreboard's showing 0. Not sure what happened there. Tiki Torture forced out of bounds again. Adrenaline Rush, shoulder check from number 24.
Ooh,
that is
wow. Couple big hits.
Out the front with 4 points, Adrenaline Rush. Vanessa Bonnet heads to the penalty box. And Coach Numbers calling for an official review.
I am not surprised. I thought I saw a couple forearms in the last maybe 5 seconds.
There was a lot of action, a lot of people flying in all directions, so I would be impressed that anyone saw anything in that, but that's because I'm not a ref. You, being a ref and a skater and a coach and now an announcer and a fan and a NSO and everything else derby, would see that sort of thing.
Yes. Notice that. It was Rainstorm. It was not Rainstorm. It was Adrenaline Rush, who was the jammer in that one. And she got a couple really big hits laid on her. I noticed chicken arms. If you're hitting, don't let that arm fly away from your body.
Gotta tuck the elbow up to the side. I think I remember
years ago
with the drills with holding paper plates under your arms as the team would skate around and practice shoulder checks just to make sure that you didn't let the elbow
chicken
come
wings.
out. There you go. We can all do the chicken dance.
Yeah.
As if it was a baseball game.
If you're a blocker, you want to go like this, not like this. That'll get you called.
Thank you. That's your demonstration right there.
There you go. That's how you can tell
You can record that and sell it to the Derby world, or I guess perhaps WFTDA.tv will be marketing that out. Connect with us on Twitter. Use the hashtag #TalkToJRDA, number 2 in the middle of that. You can also follow the JRDA's Twitter account at JRDA_rocks.
Yes, it does.
I like to think so. I'm enjoying it. Nothing new coming in on the Talk to JRDA, so we have nothing to talk about, but we will hear from our referee about our call.
Crooked River was challenging a no call of an out of bounds block on the Black Jammer. And how did that turn out?
It turned out, yes, there was contact out of bounds that did knock the Crooked River Jammer to the ground, and the official review has been upheld, and the Black Jammer now sitting in the penalty box. Tiki Torture gets the out of bounds block.
It's going to be a full 30-second power jam.
It will be a 30-second power start for Rainstorm.
In that last jam, I noticed afterwards adrenaline rush being helped to the medic table.
She was getting hit fairly heavily. Both of these teams have been trading a lot of big shots.
So hope everyone just stay safe, please.
Exactly. And the Darlings of Destruction playing for the second time today. It helps if I look at the right side of the bracket. Crooked River had 2 games yesterday.
Wow.
Only 1 today. Darlings had 1 game yesterday, and I'm playing 2 today. Everybody only gets 1 game tomorrow, so nobody has to double up, fortunately. In our next game with the Pixies versus the Chick Whips, Chick Whips again played twice yesterday. Pixies will be playing their second game today. Eager to see this. That'll be an interesting match of styles. I think we talked earlier. They're both heavy on the hits and maybe less tight in the pack than some of the teams we've seen this weekend, but do some reasonable pack work, and then also throw in the I'm going to go off and hit someone.
I've noticed there are 2 main ways that I've seen strategies from various teams. There's the close, stick together, slow pack. Everyone's nice and controlled.
Mm-hmm.
And then B, there's the crazy, just go and hit.
Go and hit and break things up and let the jammers weave through, which has its advantages, I would say. You can slalom through the back sometimes.
Advantages.
You get less, pushing, blocking sled practice.
Yes.
Maybe doesn't burn the quads out as fast.
For my team, we are very slow, very controlled in our blocking style. And we don't like to go fast. That's just the way our blockers are. We're not a very hitty team, only hit when it's absolutely necessary. Because other than our jammers like to hit, including me.
That's good.
And looks like there were 2 official reviews going on at the same time. So can you tell us what just happened there, Scott?
I can. So the Darlings of Destruction were asking for a review of the out-of-play block on black number 28. That is Vanessa Bonnet. The call will stand. There was, in fact, an out-of-play block, and Vanessa Bonnet has fouled out because that was her 7th foul. That takes out.
Tough on the Darlings of Destruction. Vanessa Bonnet was a key skater.
She was. She's very, very key on the offense and on the defense. The triple threat.
She most certainly was a triple threat.
She received a number of their star passes in the game. In fact, I only recorded 2, and they were both to her. However, Darlings of Destruction with I can't do the math on 224 minus 169, but that's a number of points. Quick, Bella, get the calculator out.
Give me a second. 224
what is that? That's like 50-something, I think, right?
55.
There we go. I knew it was close to 50.
Pretty good.
So 55-point lead, 8 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the game. Crooked River now on a power start. When we get action back up as number 44, Tiki Torture, is in the penalty box. We've got Rainstorm set to jam for Crooked River. And as soon as our head ref, Alan Your Grill, is done explaining to the crowd what happened, we will be back with the action.
points because there were 2 official reviews going on at the same time, 1 from each team.
Over on track 1 in the open division from the Talk to JRDA Twitter, Tommy Riggins saying, we will see a battle of the Bay in the fifth place game if the attack pack defeats Mob City. Tampa just advanced, so Tampa Bay beating River City Riot to move into the 5th place game on the open division, and attack pack will take on Mob City next on track 1.
Since I'm not calling that game, can I say I'm cheering for them?
Cheering for Mob City? I think you're allowed to say that.
Okay. Yes, I am.
They're your friends. You can cheer for whoever you want.
I have a lot of very good friends on Mob City. Practiced with a lot of them, skated with a lot of them.
And on this track next, we will have our other team fighting for the 5th place game, as that will be the Pixies versus the Chickwits.
Yes, indeed. That's going to be a fun game.
It will. Northwest region, two teams playing at the same time. So I think you'll need 2 monitors, and you can just put up 2 screens and watch both of those games if you're watching this game from the Northwest.
Go Northwest.
All right, Crooked River running backwards to get the no-pack call, and that frees up Rainstorm quickly out lead Jammer, as Crooked River going to try and chip away at this, what did we say, 55-point lead?
55-point lead.
2 blockers on the track, and excellent work as a pair, knocking Rainstorm out to the outside. Ellen Degenerate with the hip.
That was some very smart offense on Crooked River. The Darlington Destruction Wall was trying to run back, and Crooked River got in their way, actually forcing a clockwise block.
And coming out,
Tiki Torture moving her feet super fast, magically getting through. It's like she's floating.
Magically delicious. 4 more points up for Rainstorm as Tiki Torture now approaching the pack. Rainstorm opting not to call off the jam, just letting her defense do its work as she cuts towards the outside. Nothing doing there. Ellen Degenerate crossing off, but almost clear, and a bump out by St. Andre. Coach Numbers says, no, she went out of bounds. You can go. No pass, no penalty called.
From Tiki Torture to Ellen Degenerate. It's now been knocked to the inside. Huge hit. Going all the way back. So she's going to have to recycle, and this is still the initial pass.
And Rainstorm with a shoulder. Thought she was going to get Ellen Degenerate out, but Ellen holding on to that line.
Rainstorm even helped push Ellen Degenerate a little further out. So
kind of bumped her around her defense. The defense was setting up for where she was going to go, and all of a sudden her momentum was shifted just enough.
Crooked River coaches and entire bench, very encouraging Rainstorm to call it off.
Yes, and call it off she did. 13-4 for Crooked River takes us to 228-182, which is now under 55 points, but I'm not going to do the math to figure out how much. 40-something. We'll call it 40-something. Close enough. Devious, number 777 with the star for Crooked River. And we got number 187, Sugar Baby, jamming for Darlington Destruction, but Devious out first, lead Jammer. As
somehow Sugar Baby survives maybe 4 huge soldier attacks and makes it through the pack.
Now Devious shouldering her own way through the middle of the pack, grabs 4 points as Sugar Baby at the back, bumping and grinding, steps over a downed skater and rolls out of the pack with 4. So 4-4 as Devious cutting around the outside, hits the hips, takes a shot from Wikipedia.
The Coach Numbers is looking for a late hit.
I don't think he will get it as the whistle had not blown yet, just as she was tapping the hips, but I don't think I heard a whistle before, and Coach Numbers now calling for a timeout.
Good time for a timeout.
Yes, take a breather, get the team together, and regroup as we've got 5 minutes and change to go, 232 to 186.
I would also like to thank whoever is responsible.
And Crooked River now 1 more timeout remaining. Darlings of Destruction have all 3 of theirs and no official review. Crooked River is still showing their official review on the clock.
By the way, if any juniors are interested in announcing any games, whether it's live feed or house calls, please see Big Al over there.
And we will wrap down this timeout with one final call out for connecting with us at Talk to JRDA. That's number 2. And if you're having a watch party, don't forget to post your picture on the Twitter or the Facebook. Make sure it's public if it's posted on Facebook. Tag it with hashtag JRDA Watch Party. Do that before the end of the tournament, and there will be some prizes, some JRDA goodies will be given away.
Looking to the side of the track, Angel City is getting ready. They are playing at 8 o'clock tonight. But they're walking very orderly in a single file line.
They are. It's like they're a very regimented team.
They most certainly are. Angel City and the Galaxy Girls play very similar games with the same offense, the same defense. So it's always a good game when the two of us play each other.
Gabby St. Andre jamming for Darlington Destruction. Out first is lead jammer Megan Ufall jamming for Crooked River as St. Andre slowing down, checking with the pack. Finally catches up. Bumped out of bounds. There was a run back, but no call made. And Gabby St. Andre pushes through the front.
Gets 4 points.
Picks up the 4 points.
Except Megan Ufall is right behind her, maybe half a track, quarter track.
Also with 4, so a tie 4-4 as St. Andre runs into the pack again, calls off the jam. Megan Ufall 0 points, 2 up for the Darlings of Destruction Supernovas. So that takes us to 238-190. And that I can do. That's 48 points. See, that's nice, easy round numbers.
Yes. It's very nice. I like multiples of 10.
Yes. Devious with the star for Crooked River. Official timeout called. Wiki Bleedia set to jam for, I think, the first time today
the first
for
time.
The Darlings of Destruction. Very brief official timeout. Five seconds called. Backed up to the jammer line. Devious trying the inside line. Wikibledia going outside. Devious now tripping over the out. And
it's Wikibledia.
Yes, sneaking up on the inside. They sort of started on opposite ends and crossed in the middle. And Wikibledia managing to get out first. Devious hops over some feet on the inside to clear the pack.
As soon as I saw Crooked River play yesterday, I was watching Devious Jam, and the first thing I thought was her skating form when she's going around the track reminds me of Scald Eagle.
Yes, that's that same sort of speed skater form. They'll lean forward, put the hands behind your back, and just relax into the strides.
Yes.
It's not bad to be compared to Scald Eagle.
Not at all.
You can think of worse things. So 4-0 run for the Darlings takes them to 242. 191 as an extra point snuck in the last jam, I believe, for Crooked River.
Not seeing it, though. It's on the scoreboard.
We've got number 42, that is Adrenaline Rush jamming for Crooked River, and Sugar Baby jamming for the Darlings of Destruction. And Adrenaline Rush in the blue, out first, lead jammer Crooked River.
Sugar Baby taking a quick assist from Gabby St. Andre as a blocker.
Crooked River now set up at the back of the pack. Sugar Baby running into it. Adrenaline Rush pushing forward at the front as Pound Cake, last line of defense, teaming up with McKenna Viska, but
one by one, they all will fall.
Yes, they will, and Pound Cake out too far in front of the pack, so 4 points up for Crooked River as Sugar Baby trapped at the back of the pack.
Hard fall by Adrenaline Rush.
And Coach Numbers calls for a timeout, using his final timeout to lock the clock down with a minute 54 to go.
He still has his official review. If he wants one more, he could use as a timeout, or he could review something.
That is true. If they can get into that, get another quick jam, minute 54 and a 47-point lead for the Darlings of Destruction. So not insurmountable in 2 jams.
Not at all. I think my record for a jam is 44 points.
All right, that's way more than my record for a jam since I've never jammed. I've announced a 44-point jam, though, so that might count for something.
I think you announced my 44-point jam.
It's very possible. Tiki Torture, number 44 with the star for the Darlings of Destruction. Rainstorm, number 100, set to jam for Crooked River. each team 1 skater in the penalty box. So 3-on-3 in the pack.
The rolling whistle of end of timeout means we're going to get 1 to 2 more jams in here. Unless we're going to have a couple really short ones.
Yeah, they'd have to be super short, and everybody'd have to take timeouts.
I mean, Darlings of Destruction have all 3 of their timeouts.
They do.
No official review left, but the timeouts are all available.
Yes, now Darlings of Destruction pushing on the outside.
Huge hit, but that is, I don't know who that is. I didn't catch the number.
Well, whatever.
Darlings of Destruction blocker.
Yes, whatever it was, it stopped things up enough. Rainstorm is clear. Tiki Torture had lead jammer and going to the penalty box, so this will be our final jam. All that Tiki Torture had the clock in hand.
This can be final jam and all Rainstorms.
It is. Rainstorm tied up with the pack, pushing towards the front, pushing as the bridge comes, and finally
5 points.
Rainstorm out with 5. That takes us to 2:03, 2:45, and a minute to go in the jam.
Everyone on the Crooked River bench is now standing up, cheering on Rainstorm and the blockers they have on the track.
That they are. Time is in Darlings of Destruction's favor, however, as again with that 42-point lead. With the defense on the track and a shove in the back from Slugbug, a little pivot assist. As the jammer now out, Tiki Torture out of the pack, and
45 seconds left. See what can happen.
Number 99, Ripper in half, doing a little offensive blocking, trying to free Tiki Torture, and Tiki Torture is now through. That puts up 4 points, so a 10-4 jam at this point, 2:49, 2:08, with 20 seconds remaining in the period clock, 23 on the jam clock.
Means jam's gonna go 3 seconds longer than the game.
That it will. 4
Tiki
up.
Torture wanting to pass to Ripper in half. And successful pass, and there she goes.
Yep, Ripper in half with the star in hand.
Huge
Big
hit.
Number 75, Slugbug with the hip check, knocking Ripper in half out and picking up the penalty in the process.
And it is finished. 2:49 Darlings of Destruction and 2:12 for Crooked River.
Well, that was an exciting last jam.
That most certainly was an exciting last jam.
So Crooked River falls to the Darlings of Destruction. They've played repeatedly, and Crooked River, at least according to our stats for the last couple of years, not yet able to beat the Darlings. Crooked River
a
will
4-0 record between these two teams in favor of Darlings Destruction.
Crooked River will move into our 7th place game tomorrow. That is at 12 o'clock. So if you're watching from the Crooked River region, tune in at noon.
Do you know who they're going to be playing?
They will be playing whoever loses this next game between the Chick Whips and the Pixies. The Darlings of Destruction move into the 2 p.m. game for 5th place. And coming up next, we will see that not grudge match, that other consolation match between the Inland Northwest Pixies out of Spokane, Washington, against the Chick Whips from Topeka, Kansas.
These next 2 games coming up, the next one with the Pixies and Chick Whips is going to be a really good game. 2 very strong teams, 2 very physical teams.
Yes.
So be sure to stick around for that. And immediately after, we have Santa Cruz Derby Groms and Angel City.
Angel City Junior Derby. They've played several times, and the Groms have been owning it this season. Maybe this is the game that the Angel City will pull it out. We'll have to wait and see.
Yes, the Groms.
Bella DeBrell, thank you for joining us. You are watching.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We are watching WFTDA.tv. We'll be back in 20-something minutes with the next game.